Hello, I'm your superhero critic, and do mind if there's a little bit of background noise throughout this review. I'm kind of recording in a new place that is not as quiet. That being said, Wonder Woman is currently hitting the theaters with massive success. So, what can we do to review? Being released directly to DVD in 2009, the Wonder Woman animated film was loosely based on the 7-part miniseries God and Mortals, and was their 4th film in the DC animated films lineup. Produced by the great Bruce Timm, and the film itself is nothing but great. Reviews with an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes, and is one of the best throughout DC animated films. So with that being said, let's just go straight into this and dive into Wonder Woman from 2009.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Woman Song.
She's a woman. She's a woman.
We begin in a raging war between Ares' men and Hippolyta's Amazons, and the fight goes back and forth, each side losing members. Hippolyta meets Ares head-on, while he taunts her about victory. An Amazon named Alexa shows no fighting skills as one of her sisters is slain before her, while Hippolyta decides it's time to end the battle by killing Ares and her son. Zeus demands that Ares not be killed, and instead Hera puts restraints on him and gives the Amazons an island paradise, and years later gives Hippolyta a child born from clay. Baby, I need you out of cliff. We jump to Diana training with Artemis, ending in yet another victory for her. The conversation then turns into her angry-filled mother saying they cannot trust man in any way, and shows Diana Ares to further push her own thoughts onto her daughter. We then go to Steve Trevor, who is being chased by enemy planes, and is eventually forced to crash the plane, landing on Themyscira. Steve's happiness on a woman-filled island is short-lived as Artemis and Diana begin to give chase, and it's Diana that eventually takes him down. Hippolyta forces Steve to tell her who he is, and he barely knows anything, so she agrees to take him to the outside world. Diana begs to be the one to do so, but her mom says she has no experience to do so.
This is not fair, Mother. I will always lack necessary experience unless given the opportunity.
Welcome to the real world, Diana. Alexa, however, takes over Diana's guarding shift so our hero can take part in the contest to decide who will take Steve home. During the tournament, the Amazon Persephone murders Alexa and frees Ares. Diana, of course, eventually wins the tournament, is given her notable outfit and weaponry, her mother shockingly being supportive of all of it. The Amazons learn of Alexa's death, and Diana finally draws on the classic costume. Steve and Diana head to the city, and she comes across a sad girl who is being told by boys she can't play pirates because she's a girl. So Diana teaches her how to fight, which will end up hurting someone. They then head to Steve's work to use the computer to search for Ares, seeing a lot of hateful acts being committed. Steve then tries to take Diana to sightsee and takes her to a bar trying to get her drunk, and it ends the way you'd expect it to.
Men.
Being someone who doesn't read Wonder Woman a lot, Is Steve Trevor always such a sleaze bag in this? I'm sorry, but personally, to me, he's kind of a douche. The two walk into an alleyway about to get mugged, but she, of course, defends the two of them and make them run off. Another being appears, but is clearly a monster sent by Ares, as the two of them fight, and it is taken to the streets, through buildings, and even heads through a mall. Wonder Woman finally takes the monster down using her lasso. Wonder Woman tries to get some answers, but the monster commits suicide by snakebite. Our heroine decides that Hades is involved after the insignia is shown, and they head to an outpost with men and begin fighting them. Persephone then links her dagger to help Ares create a sacrifice, only to be stopped by a tiara.
It's over, Ares.
Always remember, when in doubt, throw your clothing at your opponent. The next fight begins, but Ares gets his incantation done correctly, summoning a gargoyle-like creature that grabs our heroine just as she's about to take Ares out. Steve grabs a grenade and saves her life. Ares finishes his sacrifice, which opens the gate, but Steven is forced to leave with an unconscious Diana. Ares meets with his uncle and tries to convince him to take off the cuffs, only to see his son has a slave before his uncle finally agrees to remove the cuffs. Steve and Diana then argue over men helping women, but Steven doesn't let Diana win for once.
Newsflash! The Amazons ain't so perfect either. You act brave, but cutting yourselves off from the outside world was cowardly. Not to mention, stupid. Like less communication between men and women is what the world needed.
How dare you?
No, I'm not done. You met your first man, what, like 15 minutes ago? And you think you have us all figured out? Well, I'm sorry. But not everything a man does is to further some misogynistic agenda.
Stephen Trevor, everybody, enemy of feminists everywhere.
Ares rallies his undead army as the military are taken out by them, as our heroes land and start taking them out as well. Ares does the typical villain banter as the Amazons pull an ex machina and save Wonder Woman's life. It's now monsters versus Amazons as the two armies fight and heroine and villain tear each other apart. Diana gets a taste of Ares' real power.
Oh, crap.
Language.
Ares then summons all of the dead Amazons to attack their sisters, which ends in Alexa being revived to fight with Artemis. During their fight, she fights her way and gives Artemis a spell that will reverse the curse.
Nego Arch Corpus!
The massive undead army try to attack Ares, only for him to send them back to Hades. Steve heads to take out the missile that the military had launched, destroying it at the last second with an invisible missile. Hippolyta and Persephone fight, which ends with Persephone's death as she begs her queen to understand why she did what she did. Heroine and villain trade banter back and forth, and Wonder Woman finally gets the best of Ares with the help of Zeus and lightning.
Zeus! Zeus!
It looks like Ares finally got some head.
Our movie ends with Steven and Diana embracing a loving kiss before going back to Themyscira and seeing Artemis trying to understand reading. Hippolyta allows Diana to become the ambassador between the two worlds, and we then get a tease of Wonder Woman stopping a crime caused by Cheetah.
Getting cold.
So there you have it, Wonder Woman from 2009. This film is great and is one of my favorite animated films from DC as a whole. So that being said, join me in 2 weeks when we go into a comic book that it draws itself. I'm your superhero critic, and I'll stay super as long as you stay awesome.